2014 this year. The person who was nominated to lead us is Dr. Vishnu Raghunath. He's the head of our department, and he's the person that you all should be relating to. Knowing him, any issues, any problems, any challenges, Dr. Raghunath is the first port of call. The second port of call, and you'll know this lady, and I want you to be very familiar with this lady. This is Miss Rosa Bissessar. She is your administrative assistant in charge of the entire Department of Political Science. All your problems, all your issues, all your challenges, Miss Bissessar. Now, you people don't understand how important you are in the mix of things. You all are not undergraduates. You are our postgraduates. The most important people for us are our postgraduates. Our postgraduates are no longer undergraduates. We consider them above. You should be walking tall and you should be walking proud. Everything that we do, we are trying to encourage postgraduates to come in, be part of the department, and we welcome you with open arms. Dr. Raghunath? I don't think you need any introduction. Dr. Raghunath?
I think you've said more than
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all, Dr. Raghunath.
I didn't say it, right?
I didn't mean that at all, please.
Well, thank you, Professor Bissessar. And Professor Bissessar has taken the lead on organizing these seminars to make sure that our postgraduate students remain on top of what they are supposed to be doing, that is postgraduate work. So clearly, she is going to help to guide you in a lot of things that we are supposed to be doing over the next year or 2 years or 3 years, as the case might be in regard to some of you. Let me just say a few things about our postgraduate program. I know Professor Bissessar said and would have guided you, but for all intents and purposes, our postgraduate program is one of the programs that has emerged out of and had remained, maybe I should put it like that, the MSc government, the MSc public, the MSc and the MPhil government and the MPhil and the PhD government. Professor Bissessar would have told you that at one point in time we had a Department of Government. This was before 1994. And the MSc, the MPhil and the PhD, all these three programs were part of that department. We maintained the MSc, the MPhil and the PhD government throughout the, sorry about that, throughout the period we were under the umbrella of the Department of Behavioral Sciences, and now that we are back on our own with the Department of Political Science, we are continuing with these programs. Now, that does not mean to say we're going to continue the programs in the same mode that they are in at this point in time. We are going to be revising and reviewing and revising, particularly so the MSc program in the next few months. One of the things that for those of you who are now entering the MSc program, one of the benefits that you may have at some point in time is that during the course of this academic year, we expect to get within the Department of Political Science the MSc Public Sector Management being brought under our fold. Once that program is brought under our fold in the Department of Political Science, that will give us a lot more flexibility in allowing our MSc students to do courses not only within what we call the traditional government program, but do courses in the the Public Sector Management Program. Okay? So that is the context in which we hope to go forward. It would be MSc program. Now I look at the group here, and I know several of the students here are not MSc students, they are MPhil, PhD students. As MPhil, PhD students, literally the ball is in your court and the pace at which you work. But I'm telling you immediately that Professor Bissessar and myself, we're not going to stand by and let people take years and years and years to come up with a research proposal and then take another few years to come up with a chapter and so forth, which to some extent happens even now, and I can say that. And some of the students now who are in these programs may be having some difficulties in getting their initial proposal out. We want to make sure, and in fact that's the reason for these seminars. These seminars are really to help you, to guide you into ensuring that your research proposals and your thesis proposals come out early enough. So that is one of the issues that we have to deal with. We cannot allow people to just struggle on and on and on. And we will be taking strong action. I mean, that's probably the wrong word, but maybe it's the right context in which you put it. That if you are not performing, we don't want you to be wasting your time here. I'm not saying anything about our time. But if you are not performing, don't waste your time here. I should also tell you, in fact, if I may just step back to the MSc program, part of our big challenge with the MSc program is that students who are doing the MSc, when they finish their coursework project, part of the MSc, they do not have the discipline to finish the project. Believe it or not, Rosa will and Professor Bissessar will tell you, I was just sitting in the office where a student started his MSc in the year 2000 and is yet to finish his project. And we have decided that if he doesn't finish it by December, that's it. No MSc for him. That student got away because of a whole set of other things. Having been assigned a supervisor, the supervisor died, no other supervisor was immediately appointed and assigned and so forth. So hence the reason for that student being around. That we don't want happen to any of our MSc students. As for the MPhil and PhD students, again, likewise. We have one particular case, which is, I'm giving you the bad cases. Person came in 2005, and until this year, had not finished, and is begging for another year to finish. And he's working on an MPhil PhD. No, he's in a PhD program. He's in a PhD program. And he's begging for another year to finish. Now, the thing about it is that discipline is what is required in these programs. I know most of you or several of you are working people. If you are working, it takes time. You have to make the time. You have to make the sacrifices to get the work done. And if you cannot make that sacrifice, then you are doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the university a disservice. Because if you give us a substandard thesis and we have to submit that to external examiners, we look bad. When I say we, I talk about the institution as a whole, look bad. So please be mindful of that. Make the time, you applied. We didn't tell you to apply in those instances. Some of you, yes, we told you to apply, but the majority of you, you applied voluntarily, and we want you to finish. The faster you get out of the system, the better for us.
We want you back though. The masters, we want them back. We want PhDs.
Right.
We want to have them show in the Caribbean.
Good. Well, I'm not sure some of the masters we want them back.
No, you're not sure.
Good. Having said all of that, I know that within the department, we are going to be doing our best to try and assist you. Professor Bissessar has already indicated that Mr. Bissessar, as the administrative assistant in the department, is the key administrative person who we have to see should you have any challenges as it relates to administrative matters, registration, those sorts of things. Don't go by hand tell her you can't do you can. If you have problems in doing it, go by Professor Bissessar. She'll give you a good ball out and
then send them to you when I pass it.
right. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, please, all I'm asking of you is that you're registered in the program. Make the commitment to complete the program and complete it as quick as possible. I should tell you all that the two instances that I gave you where people are in the system for over 10 years and 12 years and so forth, they are from the old system. The university has now made new regulations with regard to postgraduate students. And in fact, it goes not only postgraduate students, but to all students. That after 5 years, if you've done a course and it's 5 years and you've not completed your program, and you go on to 6 years and 7 years, they could tell you that that course you did 6 years ago, 7 years ago, no longer relevant, and you need to do it back. You all don't want to find yourself in that situation. So just make sure, push yourself to complete. And we will be there to give you whatever support that we can to make sure that you complete. I know that we want to get you out. We want to get the credit that the department is being able to not mass produce, but rather produce quality graduates, quality PhDs, quality MPhils, and well, we wouldn't like to know that people who are registered for MPhils are not going on to their PhDs. And we normally tell people that if you are in an MPhil program, we hope that you will be upgraded in your PhD program. But some of us, we know, sometimes you just can't spend the time or the effort to go from the MPhil to the PhD. And we accept that. But we'd like to see most of our MPhils upgraded into PhDs, and we'd like to see most of our MScs coming back in to do the MPhil PhD. We are there to support you, and that's all I will say for now. I hand you back over to Professor.
Thanks very much, Dr. Raghunath. So we have a round of applause. And I think they have got so many things to eat. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not sure whether this is seminar, whether it's
Actually, it is a celebration, and what we want to do today is we want to do a number of things. Number one, we wanted to impress upon you how important the graduates are to us. You know, when I was a graduate, I remember the first time I came in as a master's in government person. I walked the corridors like if I was wearing the robe, Plato and Aristotle, and I watched the undergraduates and I said to them, I say, I'm your master now, man. You know, so you feel that, and you should be feeling that you are graduates, you're not undergraduates. We expect a lot of things from you. We expect you to dress better, talk better, conduct yourself better, but also be a mentor to the undergraduates so that they'll come into as graduates. The thing we want to do too is we know sometimes it's difficult Because what I think is lacking sometimes is that we drop you into the waters without telling you what is expected of our thesis. People know what is a thesis, they know the word thesis, they know the word project, but they don't know what to do. And nobody's there to guide them what to do. We want to guide you step by step on that path. We want to make sure that when I pass away, for instance, I know I have people to replace me on the side there, and they will fill my spot. We don't want to die and leave spots. We want to have this right set of people taking over from us. And that's why we encourage you to be part of our circle. This is our circle, eh? Now, I want to introduce you. So what we're going to do today is not a seminar. We're not going to talk to you. We're actually going to arrange a series of workshops. It's important to me that everybody attends these workshops. Why? Because Dr. Raghunath, if you know what's happening to him, it's really horrible. He has been moving from meeting to meeting to meeting to reports to meeting and back again. And therefore you don't really want to, even if you're a student, burden him with going through things when he doesn't have the time for it as a new head of department. What we want to do is we're going to set up a workshop series where you will be working, but we will also set up a mentoring system with the people we have on board. We have a number of people, bright young people on board. Josh Drayton, Kenwin, well not so young Kenwin, Dr. Taylor, Marlene George Mitchell, Luanda, Simone, Yuvan. They are with us, and they are with us as instructors, as RAs. They have been sitting side by side looking at what we are doing, but they're also into their MPhil PhDs. They have gone through the rigors with us, the ball-outs with us, the disagreement with us. And what is going to happen, we're going to establish a mentoring system. It means at the end of this, if you people do attend, I'm not going to supervise, because I'm not going to go over the same thing over and over. My life is very short. I'm not going to sit with one-on-one anymore and discuss how to do a research project, how to do a team. I'm not going to do it. Know that. Life is cutting me in my throat. So what we're going to do is make sure you attend your workshops. We have the mentors, establish contact. I'm going to get your mentoring set up. But today, each one, if you look at the list, each one of them important, because you're going to go through, at the end of this workshop, you all actually going to come up with your thesis proposal. And you could start writing your thesis. It's not hard, it's techniques. And that's what we're going to do in the department from now on. We're making sure at the end of this workshop series, you could write up a thesis, you could write up a project, and you could write it. It can't be easier than that. We don't expect so much food in the future. This was our experiment. The experiment going good. But what we will do, you have a list of dates and times long in advance, and we want you to attend. We also want you to attend. We're having a series of outreach seminars from the department. We want you to attend that and support us. When we stand up, when Raghunath stands up, when Dr. Theodore stands up, when any one of us stand up, we want to see about 5 graduates right on the side there. Take the lead and go forward. Your dates are set up for you in terms of your workshop seminar series. In terms of the seminar topics, the first date we have, and we'll circulate this to you, is October the 16th, starting from 5. We're starting off with ideological movements, terrorism. We have our speakers. The IMF and the World Bank coming in on November 14, 2014, and then we set in the dates, and then voting behavior, and we're going ahead like that. We want the graduates to be in the forefront. We want when people come and sit down in that audience, who they see it? Who would they see it? The graduates. The graduates must be the forefront of that. If you have to push all yourself in, make sure you push. Make sure when we send this out, you say, well, Prof, we're working on this with you. We're having a conference, let us see you in front here. Walk on the stage, gallery. You are our people. You are the young ones to the older ones. Dr. Raghunath, not that old, but I old. So make sure that you're pushy. Make sure you're there and you're really, really to the front. Now, let me introduce some people and then you'll introduce yourself. We have on board Dr. Theodore. First, strange fellow, first degree in engineering, so he knows everything about computers. Everything he has to know. But he's also now in the field of international relations. I think he's an excellent scholar, I really think so. I'm kind of jealous of him sometimes. He likes to talk about leadership. Fantastic academic. Again, he's on board with us, so he's a support system. We have Luanda Francis Blackman. Luanda, Mrs. Blackman is teaching a number of courses, but she's also an MPhil going towards a PhD. We have Mrs. Marley George Mitchell. She again is an MPhil going towards a PhD. Dr. Kenwin Taylor, you know, is one of mine, and I'm proud to buy. Will always be proud. Until the day I die, I'll be proud of that man. Very good scholar, very strong scholar, a scholar who never gets angry. Excellent, except with me when he was finishing the PhD. We have Mr. Josh Drayton. Again, he is really a very, very cantankerous young man sometimes, an instructor with us, but he has a point of view that could never, if he doesn't agree with you, his point of view must be good. And even when he was 18, he was like that. And it's a sound principle for a graduate. Eh? A graduate never sits down and accepts. They never disagree. But the way they say, their conviction must be heard. We have Simon Francois with you, and I'm really happy to have Simon back with me. I'm doing a dance every day for my life. Simon is a director in foreign affairs, but I needed somebody, and Simon has come back for a few months, but one that we're grateful for. We have Yuvan Das there on the side. He's Dr. Raghunath's right-hand person. Of course, he is going towards the MPhil to the PhD. And you have Mrs. Mulder going. And then you have Wendy Williams. And Wendy, again, is that PhD candidate. So we have a number of PhDs. Others, you have Mr. Abaraj. He's not our own, but he is solicits. And then we have a new person, not our own. You are what? International Relations. So we have a few people who are not really with us, but with us at the same time. Family, extended family. So this is the kind of way we wanted to go. Every time we have the workshop, we will be talking about one area in your proposal. So today, that one area will be, how do I arrive at my research project? It's not a lecturing. I don't intend to lecture you. I intend to have the others comment at certain points and tell you how they do it. At the end of this session this evening, you are supposed to write down your research project and, with the help of the others, think it through. So I hope when you go home this evening, that research project will be the one you're going to embark on. Questions? Dr. Raghunath?
No, I'm fine. It's questions from them.
Questions? So you people know it's not a classroom, so you have things to drink, you have things to eat, plenty things to eat. We hope you can continue the momentum. But I don't want you to get fat at the same time. We will be moving the room after. Once we advertise it, we'll ask for a change in the room. So we'll have a little more flexibility in terms of how you could work with us, okay? Any questions?
You mentioned workshops. Do they have a theme, or does the theme work in stack with this?
What you have there is your workshop theme.
Oh, okay,
This
you mentioned
will be seminar.
This is workshop seminar.
No, you said
Oh, these
Yeah.
seminars,
Yeah.
they have teams. Mrs. Francois Whittier is working on it, and she'll circulate that. So you just identify yourself, and we're having an anti-corruption conference in July, Mr. Drayton and myself, and of course we'll invite people to be part of that as well.
Next day?
July, next year July.
Because they also hope that these workshops will be campus related, campus bound. And
No, we open these to the public.
yeah, no, but it's on campus.
Yeah.
We are also hoping that, at least I am hoping that sometime later, probably the second semester, probably around February or March, these go until January at this point in time. We expect to have two other seminars, March and April. But in February, I am hoping to also start what I would call conversations with the community or the society, where we are going to actually go out into the community with some of our work and some of the things that we are doing, some of the relevant issues that the society needs to at least talk about. And we're going to give them an academic, not an academic environment, but at least an academic response to some of their concerns. We're not going to be politicians. We're going to leave that for the politicians, but it's simply going to be, from our perspective, what we are doing and what we think the society would like to embark on those conversations. Now, again, those will be taken on the street to various parts of the country. But as we work those out, we'll come back to you with that.
And we want your support in that too.
Of course.
In fact, we are asking people who are working in ministries, please invite us in. We want to discuss with your ministries and departments our programs, our different offerings. We also are there, and we did it before, and we are now going to do it again as the new Department of Political Science. We also give guest lectures, set up panel discussions in ministries, and we are waiting for the invitations to come in. We did it before. I think we had a break when we went in behavioral sciences. And we are now continuing back in those kinds of things because we want to reach the public as much as possible. And of course, not all political analysts that you see on television come from within this room. The ones within this room are some.
The ones within this room are not political analysts.
Maybe a
The ones
scientist.
that are within this room are political scientists. You have to make that major difference. Because we have people, any Tom, Dick, and Harry Lal, and was it one for the woman now? Tom, Dick, Jane, and Harry Lal. Yeah. Outside there could be an analyst. We are political scientists, and what we do is we put our theoretical training into the reality of the society outside there. Unlike other people who will simply go and
So for one party or the other.
talk.
We do not like to be politicized, by the way. Yeah? Let's make that very clear. Although we are political science, we do not hold any briefs for any political party.
Definitely.
I speak for the head as well.
Definitely. She's quite correct in that.
So,
No
can,
brief.
so can we start? Can we start? What is a research question or what are the research topics?
I will have to leave you all.
Thank you very much, Ed. Okay, thank you very much. So you people could grab a drink, grab a piece of cake and let's start. We will have